Hello, hello. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to another live stream with me, 320 Sim Pilot. Great to see you all here. It's again been a while. I can only apologise. It was supposed to be a bit closer between streams, but then a few sort of time-sensitive videos and some other things have been going on, which have just pushed this stream back a bit later than I'd hoped. But great to see you all here. Sunday afternoon, it's the tradition. I finally got a Sunday free to go back to our classic stream time. For those of you who weren't with the channel, for pretty much most of the last year, we were always streaming on a Sunday afternoon. So it's great to be back. I've been looking forward to this one. Thank you all for coming along. I hope you're enjoying the shots you're getting here of the livery. Padday, of course, we've got to give a shout out to for making this livery. He promised when the PMDG DC6 came out that he would put the Tapestry livery, one of my favourite liveries. He promised he'd put it onto the DC6, and he did. And it looks remarkably good. It really suits it. So I'm very happy to see that. And we'll be enjoying that for this 2-hour flight from London Gatwick down to Bordeaux. I know we did Gatwick last time, but it was, of course, an Air2000 base, so I couldn't resist going from Gatwick again. Plus, we have this fantastic freeware scenery for it, which I really do like. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I think the mic's working this time. It wasn't the last time I streamed, so that was a good start. And I'm going to jump quickly into the chat just to say the hellos. This is always a painful part for you guys, I'm sure, so I can only apologise, but it's great to have you here. So Checkpoint, Wild Womble, the guy with the rock, Dave Geimer, good to see you. Dave Geimer's been at an air show at Duxford. Fantastic, well done. I haven't been to any air shows this year, so yeah, I am very jealous, especially if you got to see the Eurofighter. Excellent. Dana J. Suresh, good to see you here again. Dana J's flying the Swedish bush trip. Excellent, enjoy that. Victor Tango, thanks for coming and moderating. J-Bay, good to see you. Richard V, thanks for coming to moderate as well. Great to have you guys here as always. Isaac Tipson, great to have you back again. Lauren V, thanks for coming and moderating. I hope you're doing very well. Great to see you here. Yeah, it's been a while. Jonathan Gunthauser, great to see you as well. I'm doing very well. I hope you are too. And Ethan's Aviation. Mr. Espresso, I hope you're doing very well. Great to see you here. Ethan's Aviation, hello again. Miku, I hope you're doing very well this afternoon, or this evening, I should say. Leo Burton. Hayden J. Robbins, I hope you're doing well. Great to have you here as well. Mash, good to see you. Ollie Nuts, thanks for coming along. Yeah, and Padday, good to see you. Padday, of course, as I said, the artist behind this livery. So thank you as ever to Padday for taking the time and effort to make my selfish sort of nostalgia kicks come to life. Ollie says, hi everyone, been ages, been really busy with school, and I've been catching up with the vids and watching the streams back to back. Back, but I'm glad to be back. Excellent, good to see you here, Ollie. You haven't missed too much. There haven't been too many streams, so it's been a bit of a quiet time, but we have had a few videos, and that's sort of part of the reason why the streams had to take a second seat for a little while. Sometimes I go through phases where they've got loads of streams, and sometimes we've got loads of videos, and it does just depend. The first officer is just trying to sit down, so come on, sit down. She's just perfectly getting in the way right now, so I can't actually get to any of the controls or keyboards. Go on, there you go. Okay, good. Right, so yeah, as you can tell, I just jumped into Twitch as well. This is live on Twitch. If anyone's watching on Twitch, great or if you'd like to watch on Twitch, do please head over there. It is available. Dougal McTavish, thanks for coming and moderating on Twitch. I see Checkpoint over there, and Lauren V as well, which is great. Alex NL74 says, did you enjoy the race? I have not seen the race. I know it's hopeless, but if you can avoid any spoilers for the race, do please try. I'm going to watch the highlights later, so that's my fault. I do my best, but yeah. Dougal says multi-streaming must be good multitasking practice for pilots. It gets easier once I've started, because then I can watch it. I can monitor it all on one thing that Streamlabs gives me, which is always good. And Captain Wazza, good to see you over on Twitch, and Dusty Lupus as well. So the cat is here now. I don't know if you heard her join, but she did arrive in the room. Checkpoint says, love Twitch for the low latency. So viewing on Twitch, chatting on both. Excellent. Thank you very much. Elitist Maggie for your $5 super chat. Really appreciate it. That's very kind of you. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much for the very kind donation. Simon Taylor, hope you're doing well. Winter Splash, we will be on Vatsim. We aren't yet. So what happened? My simulator crashed just before starting, so we are having a bad start. I haven't even got the VPilot loaded up here. There we go. Let's get that loaded. Luckily, I did save a flight plan earlier, so let's connect and keep our fingers crossed that we don't find ourselves sitting on top of somebody else. Because that could be a bit awkward. Also, wish us luck. We're going on to Vatsim in the DC6. I hope it works. Server not found. UK1. Why not? Why not? What's going on? I've never had that before. Interesting. Has anyone had that recently? Very strange. network. Vatsim server. Let's try again. I think it's working now. Change it to UK. Oh, was there a change? Was there? There you go. I've been so out of the loop. It's just terrible. Entirely my fault. Nope, it's really not happy. It is complaining at me. Illegal operation 25. Does anyone know what that might be? This might be the end of our Vatsim attempt. Oh, that's a shame. There's only one UK server now. That's fine. I'm just getting loads of complaints. Is it because we spawned on top of someone? Is that the issue? Let's get ready to fly. Not cooking with the live stream. Oh! Stand by. Okay, sorry about that. We've had, yeah, that's it's not really behaving, the old Vatsim. I'm not sure what's going on there. So let's set up in Gatwick. So yeah, so this should have all been ready. It would have been, but my simulator just decided to crash in the preparation for this stream. It's sort of a classic. I should start it even earlier, but we may have to just head out ourselves. So yeah. There's not much we can do if that's the case. White Jedi says, hi, it's great to actually catch you live. Your tutorials have helped me a lot. Thanks very much for coming along. Thanks for saying so, White Jedi. I'm glad they've been useful for you. Right, has anyone got this Vatsim issue where it just says illegal operation 25? What have I done wrong? Still working fine. It connects to the server. That's fine. Is it just because we're spawning on top of an airplane? Yeah, there it is again. If I move, would it help? I'm nervous of moving without breaking my whole simulator. So I might have to give up on that one. Oh, that's frustrating. That's my fault, though, if I'd had it ready earlier. We're going to do a Seaford departure today. We're going to have to do it all RNAV, so without the RNAV stuff. So we've got to do it all using radio aids, VORs and so on. Here we go. Here's Seaford, excuse me, Seaford 5 Mike or 5 Victor, or choose one of those and head down probably off of 26 lefts. Assuming that's the weather. 102 is taken. Yeah, okay, that's great. Old school, exactly, MSJN. Ollie Nut says, yesterday I logged my first hours towards my hours to become a pilot. Excellent, Ollie. I'm glad to hear it. I hope they went well. Yeah, brilliant. What a journey you're about to start on. Lauren V says, I don't think it's because of spawning on top of someone. That usually doesn't cause that sort of error. It shouldn't give you an error if you connect. No, I didn't think so. It's probably something else. Yeah, okay. Last thing, anything else that I need to change in settings? I've got the UK server, everything else is working. Oh dear. Well, shall we do the classic? We're going to close vPilot and then wake it up again. Last attempt. And then we'll just head out without it. I can only apologise to those of you who would like to have flown along on Vatsim, but to be fair, unless you've got the PMDG DC6, it's unlikely you were going to, because most people just zoom ahead of us. What is its problem? Does it need a cellcal code? No, we don't have one, so let's go without that. Last try. If this works, then we'll move stand. I have changed it to UK, Elisa's Maggie, yep. Oh, nope, snapping it. What I will do is I'm just going to grab the ATIS for Gatwick while I'm here. I'm going to cheat. They are indeed using runway 26 lefts, so that's all I wanted to know. So I'm just going to disconnect from that. There we go, 26 left. So we're going to head out on the Seaford. This one, 257. with a step climb. That's absolutely fine. Gatwick's unusual because of the airspace in around London, so you have to stop at 4, and then you've got to get up to above 5 by 18 from Seaford, and then be at 6 by 16 from Seaford. Obviously counting down towards the Seaford VOR down here. So let's jump into the flight deck, and we'll enjoy the livery when we're on the way, because otherwise it'll take us forever. Enjoy your dinner checkpoint, and yeah, we'll see you soon if you're not going to watch and eat. I don't know how many people do that. Winter Splash says, what percentage do N1 and N2 need to be at for cruise? Mine run 86% constantly. Yeah, 86% would be fine in the cruise and the Airbus. Yeah, if you're pretty heavy as well, especially. That's not too surprising. Could have done this on the multiplayer server in hindsight. Seeing as I can't get Vatsim to work, who wants to go into the multiplayer server? I'd have to reload the flight though. That does seem risky, but it would mean people could probably fly along. Oh, that'll probably lead to another crash or something anyway. So let's forget that. Right, ignore me. Last minute changes are never a good idea in a stream. So PMDG DC6, it's been a while. I'm a big fan of this aeroplane. I absolutely love flying it in the simulator. It's one of those things that you're not going to get to do except in simulators. So it's a bit of a treat. I still think some of the texturing around could be a little bit nicer, but they've definitely improved it from where it was before. But these grey panels do always look pretty immaculate. Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. Yeah. It's okay, but as long as you sit in the seat and you're using these instruments, it looks fantastic. They've really spent a lot of time on these with the parallax error and so on, and that really does help. So it's sort of where it matters with those engines and those instruments, they've got it right. I especially like the night lighting in the cockpit as well. That's always very good. Helmod says, I need a good joystick for the A320. Yeah, indeed. Lee Rose, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. I hope you're doing very well. First Officer Jaden AR, great to see you here as well. Right, let us... I've lost my mouse. That's another good start. Is this another bug I've been having with Microsoft Flight Simulator where the mouse just sort of disappears off the screen? And then, yeah, there you go. Get it back. Oh, well. Right. Pop this out. What can we do about the ground stuff on this airplane? It's been a while. I had this thumbnail ready to go ages ago. I was supposed to fly it a bit sooner. Here we go, Ramp Manager. So let's connect everything. Don't need that. Get the tow bar on. Can we get steps? Or is it? No, it's air stairs, isn't it? So the front cabin exits. Main cabin exits. Front cabin stairs. Main cabin stairs. Ah, we'll open up the cargo holds. There we go. That's better. Let's get everybody on. Oh, so it's not air stairs. It is main stairs and then air stairs out that front right entrance, which I assume is where the flight crew would come and then everybody else would get on the back. It wasn't uncommon back at this generation of airplane for everybody to be boarding via the steps at the back of the aircraft. And of course, business class would have been at the back because this would be where the quiet part of the cabin was. Quite lovely, I'm sure. And then sitting up here, you'd have been deafened by these engines sitting right next to your head and the propellers were whizzing around. This is quite fun though. I don't know which sort of class of cabin this was. Facing each other. What happens if we go through here? And there we go. Up the steps. All the paperwork required. Old school radios. Oh, there we go. And the cockpit. Good stuff. So, let's get ourselves loaded up for this flight. Now I'm going to need to do a bit of conversions, which I was supposed to have done already. But there we go. We are going to go to the fuel load manager. And I'm now going to pull up Google, because this is all in pounds, being an American simulation, obviously. Thank you very much, Andy Robinson, for the $20 super chat. That's very kind. Andy says, welcome back. I was so happy to finally see another live stream today. That's great, Andy. Thanks so much. That's incredibly generous. Thank you for your $20 donation. I really, really appreciate it. It's been a while, and hopefully it's not going to be so long between the next few streams. But there's been a few videos, like I say, I've had to get done. But thank you so much for that $20 donation. Really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the channel, and great to have you here again, Andy. I hope you're doing very well. Test Pilot 7759, good evening to you as well. Yeah, we're zero automation, although I'm going to use all the automation I can get out of it. Don't you worry. Right, I need, first of all, to have a zero fuel weight of about 37.8 tons. That is... Oh, let's get that the right way round. That's about £83,000. What's our current zero fuel weight? Oh, it doesn't do that. It just gives us our gross weight. Oh dear. Right, we need a gross weight of, I want about, let's put like 5 tons of fuel on. So we want 37.4 42, 43, let's do 44 gross weight. And we want, how much fuel do we want? Where can I adjust fuel? Oh, we've got total fuel at the top there, haven't we? Okay, let's do 13,000 pounds of fuel. We've got 16,000 pounds of fuel. So that should be more than enough fuel. VT Jake, thanks so much for your $10 super chat. Really appreciate it. VT Jake says, this is my first live stream. Found you about a month ago and have since become proficient with the A320X. Thanks for your tutorials. Enjoy the flight. Thanks so much, VT Jake. Thanks for coming along to say so. Thanks for that very kind donation. Really, really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, I don't know what to say. That's very, very generous. And it's always great to hear that the video has been helping people. So yeah, thanks so much for coming along. And thanks for saying that. And I hope you can enjoy the stream, and I hope you enjoy. There's plenty of videos on there, so yeah, enjoy those. But thanks for coming along and saying so. Right, let's go. I want about 48 passengers. What does this give us? Gross weight of 88.4, and I wanted a gross weight of. I think I'm overthinking this. I think that's going to be good. It's not going to make too much difference for a flight today, as long as we've got enough fuel. We've got some cargo. Maybe take a few more bags. Make sure all our passengers have got something when they get to Bordeaux. We are getting close to 50k subs, Leo. Indeed, yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. That's gonna. Oh, there we go. Max gross weight is 102, 89. Good stuff. Yeah. So that's just loaded up, and then I'm gonna go to. I think the engines are all looking good. So there we go. We've got our engine hours. Let's give them a service. Don't want anything like that messing us up on this flight. Haven't used any of those. Thanks for the subscription, MSFS Felipe. I hope you're doing very well. They don't need any repairing. I'd hope they can get more than 2 hours of work out of them. So let's run the before start checklist. I think that's going to close all the doors. Yes, it does. Oh, I do love this airplane. It's just excellent. It does have a Garmin system watch. Yeah, we can see that in a moment. But I won't be using it. We're going to fly VOR to VOR. What is that noise? What is the issue? Yeah, oh, there you go. Vatsim is still complaining at me, even when I'm disconnected. So that's interesting. I'm going to have to get rid of that. Oh dear. Well, this is going to be a pure stream. And do too, thanks for your subscription. And Eric as well. Thank you again to VT Jake for your kind donation, and Andy Robinson, of course, and Deletus Maggie. Manta is well known for taking care of their planes, says MS Chen. Exactly, exactly. There we go. All closing up. We're going to power back from stand, obviously. Test pilot, I'm glad you like livery. Yeah, me too. And thank you to Padday for making such a good effort with it. It just looks great. Works really well. The sort of the tapestry line running down the fuselage. And I bet back then you could paint wings without having to think too hard about it. No reflectivity requirements and all sorts. Yeah, it's great. Absolutely great. Is it underneath as well? Yes, of course. There it is. The painted wings. And they're not matching, so they're not mirror image, which is what sometimes they can be. So that's worked really well. Love it. Oh, no, there we go.
Before start checks complete.
There we go. We're just in time. So the next thing we're going to do is start engines, but before we do that, let's set up the departure. So we're going from 26 left, so a pretty short taxi out to there. But what I will do is let's just tune up what we need. So we go straight ahead to 6.8 on the India Whiskey Whiskey. So I'm going to need to tune the ILS, which is 110.9. Now I've got my Logitech radio panel, but what it does is it tunes nav1 on this GPS, which is obviously a more common thing. So 110.9 is my first frequency. Crucially, VOR lock. If you have this on GPS, it won't work. You won't get the readings on your CDI down here. So I'm going to set it to VOR localizer. 110.9, straight ahead on 257, out to 6.8 miles. So that DME will show up down here. Everything's in the wrong place or in a slightly hidden place. That's 0.4 miles away at the moment. That's the ILS frequency, but we're just going to use the DME part of it. It will actually show up on here, as you can see, nav VLOC. We'll get to 319 from Seaford. So we're going to need to display the Seaford needle. So VOR1 is down here. So that does make it a little bit tricky because, of course, we haven't got Seaford tuned in VOR1. So we're actually going to tune Seaford as VOR2. 117.0. Let's see. Someone was saying they had trouble with that. So I am going to try and use my nav box. 1170. There it is. That's that weird effect where you can't really read the writing. That some radios have that, not on the Airbus these days. Although I suppose some of the oldest LCD style radio panels do start to look like that eventually. But this is COM2 and NAV2 over here. So 1170 is tuned on NAV2. So the crucial thing is I've got my VOR2 needle down here. So when I see that cross 319 while tracking straight ahead and climbing, I'm going to make a left turn and we're going to head south 132 on VOR2, at which point I'll probably put that frequency into my VOR1 because then I can track straight towards it. So I'm going to have Seaford tuned as the active frequency on NAV2 and the standby frequency on NAV1. This is where you need two pilots because your other pilot can do all of that for you. Just set the QNH, there we go. And we're going to turn, inset the 132. So I don't need any course bar initially because I'm just going straight ahead, but I will put in 132 for when we head down to Seaford's. Used to tell me on that if I held my mouse there, but that looks about 120, 130, 140, 132, somewhere there. There is also a 093 point here, but I'm not going to bother with the Midhurst. I can't see the point of doing that. Is it written here? 26 left. Straight ahead, maintain 257 track. So we need to account for the wind a little bit. And then until passing Seaford, 319, cross above 25, max 4, turn left, and set with 312. And then down we go. After Seaford, I'm going to try and navigate properly using my written out NDBs and, VOR courses and distances. Every time I've done this on the stream, I've misread it somehow, which shows you how difficult it was. So we do it all the time in training, but you sort of you get used to having all the glass cockpit, which does help you. There's no doubt about it. But also you have two of you, and the hard part is just trying to do it all at once. And I'll make plenty more excuses when it happens. JL, thank you for your $20 tip. I really, really appreciate it. That's very kind of you. I hope you're doing very well, and thank you so much. And if you're in the chat and have anything to say, I'm sure I can read it out. But that's very kind of you. I hope you're doing very well. Let me just check. I've got this all right. That was on. Was that? Yeah, just a donation. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, JL. Very kind of you. Right. Let me scroll through. Good stuff. So if you guys have any questions, of course, save them for when we're in flight as usual. I think it's time to get those engines started. This is a 20-minute process on this airplane where I messed it up a few times first. But that's the navigator really set up. It's quite straightforward. There aren't too many to do. We have our gyro pilot, which we will use, and I have my controls set hopefully correctly. That's looking promising to me. Good. That's the key thing I get wrong on this airplane quite easily. So it's time to start up. Let's just take a look on the outside. All clear. Let's go over here. So we are currently sitting... Oh, and there it goes again. The mouse just disappears. This is a relatively recent bug. And I have... Oh, the spacebar seemed to work. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay. So we're going to start engine number 3 first. We're going to give the magnetos to both. They're what provide the spark for the suck, squeeze, bang, blow aspect of the internal combustion engine. We've got the fuel pump on low for number 3 engine, and we're going to let the ground engineer talk to us. We've got the ground power plugged in, you can see here. We'll swap it to plain battery after the engines have started. Okay, let's go. Holger says, just in case illegal operation 25 should be a problem with SimConnect, you can try to launch vPilot as an administrator. Actually, you will connect to Vatsim even with the error. Yeah, I don't mind. The connection seemed to work, but it just kept beeping at me. I could try. Let's see. Can I launch it as administrator like this? Thank you for the follow to Chicken Fried Noodles. I hope you're doing very well. And to Pink Pony over on Twitch. And Davey. Oh, that was a more promising connection. Has our colleague on the stand left? I bet they haven't yet. Unless they've done better than sitting here for 25 minutes like me. No, I'm going to say morning anyway. No, not working. Oh, well. Yep, let's get those engines going. So, squeeze these two together.
3,
Check it's turning.
6,
I can just about see it.
9, 12.
That was a little bit late. Will it light? Looking down here. No, too slow. There you go. So the manifold pressure drops as it did attempt to start, but you can hear it revving down. That's because I was too busy looking out the window. So we'll let it just finish that cycle. That's him trying to message you in code. Yeah, it does sound like it. Thanks for your subscription, Gab, and it's Laser Plays for following. Right, try again.
3,
We're only using the ground power, so we're not hammering the batteries of the airplane too much.
9, 12,
That's looking good. Nope. Oh, there's always something else. You've got to actually put the fuel on as well. I'm just going to turn them all on now. Yeah, you can't start without that. How do you learn new planes? Do you read manuals or watch videos on it? It says Ice T. Yeah, it's funny you ask that. If you watch this, you'll see that I can't actually learn new airplanes, it seems. But the reality is I actually read the manuals more than I watch videos.
9, 12,
And that's because... Come on, that's got to work. I'm more programmed for... That sounds better. I'm more programmed for reading manuals and learning from them because that's just how you do it in aviation, really. Whereas watching videos, I don't know. My brain just doesn't work so well that way. So I must confess, considering the irony of making videos, I end up reading the manuals usually when I'm learning a new airplane. Let's start up engine 4. That seems to have worked. Let them finish their cycle. Good. Go to number 4. Low fuel pump on. We've got the fuel on down there.
3,
As flight engineer had a drink. Yeah, who knows?
9, 12,
There we go. So funny, the manifold pressure sits at ambient, and then of course it drops as the air is getting drawn through the manifold. So it's a sort of weird quirk that when the engine's off, that needle goes up. That's worked well. Start number 2. Let it finish. I've learned to let this finish, otherwise it doesn't work very well. Joachim is hosting. Thanks very much for hosting us. Mia, thanks for your subscription. And Zorg, thanks for following. We're on engine number 2 now. Fuel there, fuel down there. Squeeze.
3, 6,
Thanks, Johnny Valentino, for your follow.
12,
Oh, too busy reading stream stuff. That could be a bit late. If you're late on those, it just doesn't work. No. Nothing there. Danway, thanks so much for your £2 super chat. Really appreciate it. I hope you're doing very well. Thanks for donating towards the channel. That's very kind of you. No, that was a very bad start. Yeah, thank you very much, Tanway. I hope you're doing very well. Okay, let's try again. Not going to get distracted on this one.
6,
This is indeed the plane, Captain Wazza.
9,
Prime.
12,
Boost. Splatters to life. Looks good. RPM. Want it to settle. Of course, we're also looking for the starter motor light to go out, which I've forgotten where that is. The warning. We've got fuel pressure, oil pressure would be the key one. There must be a starter warning light. Starter warning light to tell you that the starter motor is still engaged, which would of course eventually catch fire, because if it's engaged from an engine that's running, it spins too fast. It's just designed to turn it over to get it going, really. You can see the temperatures. See the warmest engine now over here. It's great. Cylinder head temperature. It's actually number 4. We started that one last, but sorry, second. But there you go. Final engine then. I'd love to say we could have a full house, but it didn't start that well, did it? So yeah, number 1, squeeze.
3, 6, 9, 12,
There we go. Love it. I think it's working out. Danajay, yeah, great to see you back as well. Thanks for coming along. To make the flight plan, I actually had to go, and I just ended up using SkyVector, a combination of SkyVector and Navigraph, and I just looked through the areas and try and find the VORs and then draw the lines between them. Using SkyVector, you can type in the flight plan. So there we go, that's all worked. You'll notice there's this light. This is the low fuel, I think. Low fuel pressure. It will go out as we warm up. There used to be little labels that would pop up. That seems to have disappeared. So we've done the before starts. We've started the engines. After start now,
selected boost pumps,
where they turn off the start selector, turn off the boost pumps for some reason. They get turned on again for takeoff.
battery switch,
Electrics go onto the plane battery instead of ground power, so we can get rid of the ground power outside.
generators and inverters. Checked.
Then the generators are all on, inverters are all on.
Emergency lights. Armed. Ground power. Removed.
Yeah, definitely want to get rid of the ground power before we start spooling up. Very short after start checklist, but there we go. So SimBrief now is an option to do VOR to VOR, says AC455. That's good to know. Thanks very much. I'll definitely have to look for that. That'd save me a bit of time. That's oil temp. It needs to heat up to 40 degrees. Where is our oil temp? That was over here, yeah. So it's pretty chilly. It's slowly getting there. Our right-hand two engines are okay. Just going to set up the wing view. It's obviously a requirement of Flight Simulator. We don't have Flight Simulator just to sit in the cockpit. Now that's funny. I'm sure there was an extra part of this livery the other day. Well, regardless. Right. There we go. After our check is complete, are the lights on? Let's put the position lights to steady. Now, I haven't been able to get these lights to actually show anything. Has anyone else had this trouble? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm sure they used to work, but I can't get the beacon. Where is the beacon? Maybe it's my version or the livery. Is the beacon underneath? Oh, it's on the tail. Oh, it is on. Just very, very dim. Okay, we'll let it off. Right, time to push back. So we'd called up ground. We get our clearance. We're going to go out via the Seaford. You've got a squad on here for this. 26 left is the Seaford 5 mic. And we are cleared to power back. So, parking brake off. We press, I've got this little lever. You've got to press that lever down. And then you can run the engines into reverse. Now, I don't want to run them too hard because they're going to overheat if we do that. Thanks for the follow to Ravs Lucan. And we'll use the pedals without cooking the engines. It's very easy to damage the engines. I've got all the difficulty on. Ah, you shouldn't be stuck at 144p. There should be high res available. Come on. Here's a good tip. I'll blame the engineer. Are the chocks on? Nope. Brakes are off. Very strange. I've never had that before. Reverse descent doesn't seem to work even if there's a slight incline, says Storg. Okay, need to push back. Well, there you go. These things do happen. They don't have a pushback in here, and I still haven't downloaded that thing you all told me to download last time that lets us push back. So, oh, we're going to be a bit stuck here. We have to call up air traffic. Ground services. Got to tune to ground to get it. No, I don't want a jetway connection. No. Let's give him a real rev. Does it work if we go forwards? Does. You can see why power back is not such a great option. Just in case that works because we've rolled forward a bit. Nope. Alright then. We'll try the old Shift P. Yeah, we will slew back if we need to. Funny, first time I've seen that. Stand 102 has let us down. Oh dear. My 727 is faster in reverse than forward, yeah. That's always worked. Oh, that's disastrous. Right, we've done it. Well done us. Goodness me. Let's go back to IFE. Done the after start. So next will be before takeoff. Let's taxi out. And let's ignore this mess. No good at Lukla. No, I don't think it would be. It's funny, in the Airbus you can find yourself stuck if you're doing single engine taxi. It doesn't take much. Any sort of dip in the taxiway, if the airplane rolls into it and settles into it, you're going to find yourself unable to get out of it on one engine. Even at quite light weights and at heavy weights, you've got no chance. It's quite amazing. Yeah, we did. I think we just got unlucky with that spot. First time I've seen it. Shift P didn't work either. It didn't seem to call anybody. All right, we're going to take our classic route down from stand 102. It is our favourite gate at Gatwick. So, this is going to be, yeah, it should be a good fun flight. We're going to have to remember to keep on top of the VORs. I'm going to have this chart. It's going to be very important for this one. So, yeah, you'll end up looking at the charts quite a lot. 257 straight ahead to 6.8. That's what we need to remember. Right, let's run those before takeoff checklist. This is quite a long one. So here's where the fuel pumps actually get turned on. Still only to low. I'm not sure when they get set to high. What sort of extreme situation you'd need to be in for that. JV's got food ready, excellent. Dan J's got a chocolate croissant, even better. Roy's this 101 stand kind of guy. Yeah, that might have been a better choice today. There's our Mantas filling up the airport. Flaps going to 20. GD says, recently I've noticed in the 320 NX that the zero fuel weight and CG does even closely match the flight plan from Simbrief. Ah, okay. Now we don't need to go full length, so I think we'll just go here. Oof, that was a pretty concerning set the brakes. That's concerning the lag there. Landing lights coming on. We've got the transponder on, I hope. Squawking 1200 on alt. Good. Great. Let's just do a flight control check because they can. Oh, they are locked for most of the startup on this airplane. But that's all good. Rudder's all good. Right, what's our rotate speed? Let's see if I can work this one out. I never can. It's up here. So, taking off. We've got 20 degrees of flap. We are at a weight of, we said about 90,000 pounds, didn't we? So, V2 is going to be about 107. Yep, the classic. What's V1? Not sure what this tooth. Oh, this is sea level, so we're about sea level. 90,000. It says 92 knots. But we're not going to rotate. I'm going to rotate about 107. In jet aircraft these days, we rotate, we can rotate a fair bit slower than V2. We don't have to rotate at V2, but we've got the extra performance to get up to that speed. This airplane doesn't like to rotate quite this high. Okay, just clear on the approach. We've done the before takeoff checklist. I think we get out there. Let's head on our way. It's been 40 minutes, about time. FSPB 777, good to see you. Oh, bit much. It's very, very manoeuvrable on the ground. So it's a bit embarrassing when I get it wrong like that. It's got a really chunky nose wheel. If you compare that to the size of the 320's nose wheel, it's this one looks pretty serious. It looks like a main wheel really that's just been stuck on the nose. Love the propeller effects. It spools up and down. Really nice. You can see which side I'm revving. I'm revving the wrong one there. But yeah, look at that nose gear. That's some serious traction. Right, so we're going to hold on the brakes. We're going to do a dry takeoff. We've got a nice long runway. No performance restrictions. And let's remember, straight ahead to 6.8. then left to 132, and we'll need to swap over our VR1 after that. Up comes the engines. Fan cowls are fully open, but those will be shut shortly. Those are obviously letting a lot of air over the engines. They're these little flaps here, but it will get cold if we leave it like that for the whole flight, so we have to close them up in a second.
30 inches, stabilized. Cowl flaps. Cowl flaps. Cowl flaps set.
Cowl flaps being reduced. There they go. I love that. Thanks for the follow to Pancake. There's takeoff thrust being set. Let's go to Bordeaux.
Full power
That's a
set.
long haul pilot sort of thing to say. So 107 knots. We're going to rotate nice and gently. We don't yank it up to 15 degrees like in the bus. It doesn't want to do that. So sluggish on the acceleration. Love it. 90 knots. So we're through V1 effectively. And 107. A gentle pull back. That's all we need. Positive climb. Gear up.
Nice ring, gear up. Gear select.
Oof, it is freezing every now and then. It is a bit concerning. Racing, thanks for your follow. Sorry, subscription.
Gear up, lights out.
I want it to keep accelerating. 130 knots. That should be good for now. So sensitive on pitch.
Flaps going up.
Flaps come in now, so we just want to make sure we stay climbing. I've got my little DME saying 0.4 miles down there, bottom left. I hope you guys can see that. Okay, we're still climbing even with the flaps coming out, so that's good. We've got the performance, but you'll see the nose gently dropping, so just adjusting the trim for that. And away we go, the mighty DC-6. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I absolutely love it. That's going to be maximum except for takeoff power being set.
Meter power set.
Which is Mito.
Power. Setting climb power.
Straight into climb power. So 6.8, we're at 2 miles, we've got 4 miles to go. Bit of trimming might be required. And we're climbing to 4,000 feet. Remember, we can't go above 4,000 feet for now. We need to level at 4. The game is lagging every now and then. I'm not sure why. Ah, okay. It's not lagging for me, the external view. So that's going to be the that's going to be the streaming software. Apologies for that.
After takeoff checks.
Somewhere here. Where is it done? Let's put some lights on for you guys. Coming up to 2,000 feet, so 3.7 miles. Thanks, Jeeves, for the follow. $2,000 feet to go. 160 knots, not bad. We'll keep it climbing about at that speed. Won't point straight back at the runway. It always reveals the tracking not looking very good. Same on Twitch. Okay. As soon as we get in the air, of course. Zorg says, I've managed to rack up 9 hours on the DC-6 engines without needing service, as long as I've gone so far. Oh, excellent. Okay, we haven't serviced ours. I think we've done about 3 hours, so we'll see what happens. 6.1, 6.2. So it's a good time. We're going to swap over to Seaford. We've got 132 on our CDI. And it's all going to happen at once. So let's start turning left. Gentle turn. 1,000 feet to go until level off. Luckily, we shouldn't need any anti-ice. We are going to skip the cloud, and it should be pretty warm. DG, good to see you, DG27. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, back in Air 2000s. You've seen us fly Air 2000 many times since since the channel started. It is a steam gauge heaven indeed. $500 feet to go. Ooh, we are going to level off in the clouds. Hopefully it's warm enough outside. There is a temperature gauge somewhere hidden away in all of them. And we are going to track 132. Looking for 132. 300 feet to go. We can see 120, 130. So we need to actually probably roll out here for a bit and start pushing that needle across. So we need to intercept it. So I'm going to go wings level. And then it's 4,000 feet. So attitude there. Problem is, I don't actually have control over the throttles at the moment. Okay. So we're going to keep accelerating. So about that, just trying to solve the issue. So come on, stop climbing and descending. It's so sensitive on pitch, and it is quite a powerful machine. Probably at 135 at the moment. We're at 25.1, and we need to climb at 25 is 4. So now we can climb to 6,000 feet. So let's do that. Up we go. Getting very close to our 132, so I'm going to start turning towards it. And get an absolute crazy rate of climb because it's built up so much energy. If I do this, we can go to the next one would be cruise power, but we're not quite at cruise power stage yet. So I'm going to imagine air traffic's let us climb. We managed the first step climb, that was the challenging one. Let's keep turning around to 132. .200 knots, yeah, that's good. 132 there, so that's looking good, and we need to be up at 6,000. But we're going to keep climbing. We're cruising at 120 initially. Okay, 132 there. We'll see how the wind's affecting us. We haven't got any wind readout. We'll just have to know. You'd actually have planned it, so my navlog did know the wind, assuming Microsoft Flight Simulator has the same information. The wind here should mean that we need to have a slightly right heading. Otherwise we'll start going to the left in theory. So we shall see how that goes. Okay. Good stuff. Thanks for those follows that I missed in the meantime. I do apologise for missing them, but there's quite a lot going on in this beast. Cruising out over the South UK. I hope the stream catches up for you guys. 10,000 horsepower is no joke. No, indeed. So we're going to keep going up to 120 now. I've been meaning to set up the pressurization panel, but before we do that, let's not get distracted too much. Let's see if we can get the gyro pilot, because you guys know. We have to turn on the clutch, turn on the autopilot. What was that one on the right? That is the altitude control. We don't want that one yet, but I do want the localizer option, and it should fly us on the 132 all on its own, which is always very nice. And we'll do the altitude control when we get up to cruise. Let's set standard. Luckily, that's the only one I know. 29902. 30. High pressure in the UK today. 29902. Does it do both automatically? Nope. Scroll, 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 scroll. Please. No. There it is, 2992. Great stuff. Right, so we're on the 132 now. Cruising along, climbing at 180 knots. That's looking good. Cosmic, I'm glad you like the 320 tutorials. Good to hear they helped. Okay. There you go. So it's turned left. It's intercepted it properly now. Doing a better job than I did. And we need to start thinking about what we're doing, because we are only 14 miles from Seaford. So we need to be at 6,000 feet here, which we've exceeded. After Seaford, we are going to Cannes, 11445. So I'm going to set that up as the standby frequency, and the course to that is going to be 193. Now I'm going to put it into heading as we get closer to Seaford, and then we'll head on to 193. So it's going to be a bit of a right turn as we head south towards Bordeaux. Okay. Right, pressurization. Cruising at 12,000. I was tempted to try and go higher today, see if we could have to get the superchargers in use. So the cabin's climbing with us. Let's put the flight at 12. 11, 12. So should I adjust the cabin to what cabin house should I want? Let's have, can we have 5,000 feet? That would be pretty nice pressurization. See what happens. It's descending now, so we are pressurizing. I like it. Right, how's everything else looking? We've got fuel quantity in the main tanks, which is reassuring. The alternate tanks are all empty. That's fine. We didn't take much more than that. We just have to see how that goes down. At the moment, we've got about 4,000. We've got about 16,000 pounds of fuel, which is good. Engines. Let's just check that the automatic engineer is doing a good job. So we've got green cylinder head temperatures on all the engines. That's reassuring as well. We've got oil temperature. It's warm, but it's not in the amber, so it's warm as you'd expect at climb power, and pressure's all looking good, as well as the fuel. Right, what else have we got? We've got free air temperature here, so it's about 5 degrees. Now, free air, so I'm assuming that's total air temperature, not static air temperature. I don't imagine they had a way to tell the static temperature too easily. A Junkers 52 stream, Nice West. Is that, where would that be? Is that in DCS? Is there one in this? Oh, is that the new? Is that the new one in Microsoft Flight Simulator? How do they have radio nav in the 50s? Yeah, in the 50s they had VORs and radio navigation. Absolutely. Yeah, in the war you had certain radio nav aids. I really like this plane because I've said this before, it really does, it should be too complicated to get in the air, and yet you can do it because they've just given us some really nice handy tools for it. Marty says, is there a big performance hit with this plane? No, I haven't seen it. I think it's been absolutely fine. This guy's getting 5 FPS. Yeah, I have fast internet. You know, I have pretty good internet normally, so... But it does seem to struggle with the stream sometimes. Lauren B's got donuts. Excellent. Sunday breakfast can properly begin. Very good. Yeah, Nice West. It's the new one, Microsoft Flight Simulator Junkers. Yeah, that's... Okay. Would you guys like to see that? Oh, we can do a poll. Sorry, only YouTubers can do this, but... let's see. I'm going to start a poll on YouTube. Got to remember how to do these things, so I have to do them every now and then. Santa says, hey, can I use the slider on my TM Warthog as a zoom slider like in DCS in Microsoft Flight Simulator? If so, would you mind showing? So Santa King, in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I don't use the TM Warthog. I use the Thrustmaster TCA side stick and throttles. So yeah, I've never tried, I'm afraid, so I can't answer that question. 10,000 feet. We're going strong. 60, 75, 175 knots. Just reaching the Seaford VOR. So we're going to put it into gyropilot. I'm going to turn it to the right. I'm going to keep climbing. Our new course is going to be 193. And I'm going to actually start off by doing it from this VOR. 193. Do you all remember when Microsoft Flight Simulator came out and we couldn't... I've turned late, by the way. We're going to overshoot that VOR. Do you remember when Microsoft Flight Simulator came out and it would bug where you'd have 10-degree changes only? That was a pain, wasn't it? Mateus says, I bought throttle control, however, it is not working well on FSX. Do you have a video to configure it? Not an FSX, I'm afraid. Not an FSX. I misclicked the poll. It was supposed to be a yes. It's Leo. Oh dear. How's it doing? 61 votes. We've got 93% yes, 7% no so far. I'll leave it running for a couple of minutes just in case anyone's getting a cup of tea. But that's a pretty definitive answer. So I can tell I've overshot it, and no surprise there. That's inattention. So we're going to go to 19. So let's go through to 210. That should be enough of a cut. We're very close, so it's very sensitive. And I'm going to keep climbing. We're going to go above 120. We're not on Vatsim, so we can go where we want, and we're going to go a little bit higher than that. So 210. So all we have to do now is turn this back to neutral, and hopefully the wings will level. I quite like the gyro pilot. It seems a bit complicated at first, but it does become quite intuitive. I do like it. We do indeed, Jonathan Gonzalez, have excellent weather today. Santa Kingy is on a flight from ENGM to ENTC. Very nice. Enjoying Norway. So, we're at 195 is the course we want, or 193 actually is what we should have been. And we're at 1819. It's not moving in as fast as I'd hoped. It's slowly coming across. We can take a bit more of a bite out of the pie. So, 12,000 was our cruise. We're going to go a bit higher. I've decided, out of interest, cabin altitude is at 5.5. It's descending towards it. So is that just because I've set it to? Anyway, let's go up to, let's go to 16,000. Ah, and then it forces the cabin up because it can't maintain anything lower. So the cabin can go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 7,000 feet. That should be absolutely fine. Right, I've got the 193 in there. So if I go back to localizer mode. Nope, didn't like that. Oh, I have had this before. Anyway, bit of manual flying. We're passing through 180 now. Starting to lose that speed. Feel that ready climb washing off gradually. Why does it do this? There is a reason. Set that back to neutral. Let's set it to gyro pilot. Let's turn on the clutch. But it won't let us power on. Who's clever? Who knows what I've done wrong there? There we go. Oh, it wants to take a real intercept. Maybe we're just too far from it. Well, anyway, that's going to work. Okay, Lawrence says, I'd like to see a Junkers on floats. Oh, it's on floats. Well, okay, that's pretty convincing. That is pretty convincing. Is it good then? Have people used it? You know, you've seen my videos, and I do try and keep up to date, but I'm limited in what I can get through really when I'm trying to learn all these aeroplanes. Captain says, hello, how do I calibrate my TCA throttle to control all four? So, you can assign the same axes to do more than one throttle. So, I've got my left hand to assign to 1 and 2, and my right hand throttle, or number 2 throttle, to do 3 and 4, only in the DC-6. But you might need to create a new sort of control preset in Microsoft Flight Simulator to do that. Right, we're going on the 193, and we're doing this for 98 miles. And we're going to go straight to the Charlie Alpha November. So we've got a bit of a distance to go. 14,000 feet, all looking good. For the price they charge, it's a good aircraft, says JB. Excellent, excellent. Let me just make sure I'm not missing out on anything on Twitch. Good stuff. Right. Frame rate's improved a bit. Excellent news, that's good to hear. There we go, 192. So this plane is it's good. You can really learn a bit of the old sort of old school navigation using it, because it does have a relatively capable autopilot. Opinions on the Thrustmaster 787 yoke, says Harry. I would love to try it. I haven't got it, but I thought that looked pretty good. What do you guys think of the Thrustmaster 787 yoke? I've not seen one in person. Is it available to be bought yet? Padday says, I bought a throttle control, however it's not working well on FSX. No, sorry, I don't have a video on that. I think I read that one already, actually. I do apologise. Dana J says, I invested in the Thrustmaster TPR rudders. So much better than TFRP, but expensive. Yeah, that is the way with hardware, as always. Mia found they disagree. They have a clear performance hit with the DC-6. Interesting. Yeah, I can't say I've noticed it. I feel like at one point I did at the start, but it seems to have been a bit better these days. 15,000 feet, 1,000 feet to go. We're losing airspeed a little bit, but of course our true airspeed is not reducing as much as that. we can see we're actually doing 218 knots over the ground. Yeah, Junkers on floats does sound good. It does indeed look like the yes has it. Let me just check the votes. So we're going to end it now. 7 minutes, 112 votes. Oh, I'll give it to 10 minutes, and then we'll finish that one. I quite like the polls. Quite good. Helps me, because otherwise I read through the comments and I miss loads. What we can do, if we don't like the pitch, because we want to accelerate a bit, I can actually tilt the nose down a bit using that, and it just trims nose down. Small changes as ever. Lauren V says, I like the idea of the Thrustmaster yoke, but not convinced on the throttles, though I think I'll stick with my TCA side stick for my purposes. The yoke seems like it will be expensive. Oh, so we've not even got a price yet. Interesting. Yeah, obviously if you're an Airbus simmer, you need those detents. That's the magic, isn't it? That's where we get our Airbus characteristics from. So many of them. So I assume the Boeing one doesn't have it, but I did see a little video of someone filming it at I assume at Flight Sim Expo, and it did look good. JB says, I like that Thrustmaster has put the Airbus stuff into a single box set now with the side stick throttle and add-on. Yeah, there is indeed the captain's pack. Indeed. DC6 is CPU heavy, so if your CPU is already borderline, it hurts your performance. I see. Thanks, Rakon. Thanks for coming along. I did see you earlier, Rakon. I don't think I said hi, so good to see you here. Right, let's start lowering the nose gently. 100 feet to go. Because if you just stick on altitude hold, it doesn't like it. You've got to basically trim out the airplane yourself. Maybe they'll do the same with the Boeing kit. Yeah, I'm excited to see this. But it's amazing the hardware we have for flight simulators these days compared to what used to be available. The only thing I'd like to see is a bit of force feedback stuff, especially on a yoke or something. As altitude hold on. 16,000 feet. Oh, come on, I thought I did that pretty gently. Obviously not. Cabin altitude is 5, 6, 7,000 feet. Selected, it's level at 7,000 feet. Look at that, the system works. Differential pressure just over 3 psi. 3 psi is good. We sit at 8 psi in the Airbus, which you can't reach on this. It's just not going to be able to sustain it. Interesting. Obviously, we go up to 36,000 feet, a little bit higher. Right, that altitude control has not worked at all. Where's it going? Turn that off. Very strange. Put the nose up a bit. Ah, does it need to be neutral when we set it to altitude? I really don't know. Thanks for the follow, Flinternet. I hope you're doing very well. PMDG also mentioned they're working on a different pricing model for their 7.3 in Microsoft Flight Simulator to make it easier and cheaper to add a PMDG plane to your hangar. So that's good news. That is good news. I thought the DC6 was actually quite fairly priced, considering, you know, it's obviously quite a different machine. That's just my opinion on it. Blows all the windows out, says Russell. Yeah, it would. Joe Kim says, I find it a bit strange that Thrustmaster decided to implement 3 axes on the Boeing throttle, so you can have 2 engines and flaps, or engines and speed brake, but not engines, flaps, and speed brakes. How can you not? Because we do, of course, have 4 axes on the Airbus one. Yeah, speed brakes is an absolute must. I suppose if I was to choose flaps, I could skip. BT Jake says, if I'm proficient on the A320X, will I be able to comfortably fly the Phoenix A320? Well, yeah, I think the Phoenix will include some things that you won't have seen working properly yet. Again, no criticisms at all here. That's entirely just the nature of trying to develop a freeware project like that. So the Phoenix will have RNAVs and VNAV and everything like that. So yeah, I don't think you'll find it impossible. There'll be a learning curve for some of the things that we haven't seen so far, but lots of things will be very similar. The alpha floor and all this sort of stuff. You need to local QNH set for the altitude hold. Microsoft Flight Simulator assumes the entire world uses the American transition altitude. I see. Oh, do you think it was heading down for that reason? That would be a shame. I feel like it shouldn't do that. Oh, that's not. Let's try and get it. Let's just get it completely level. I'll let it sit there for a minute. It's incredibly sensitive. Yeah, I need to look at that Thrustmaster Boeing yoke again in a bit more detail. But that would be fun for the 787, and for some of the planes like this. Wouldn't that be great? Right, I reckon one click back on that. Just let it stabilize a bit, and let's try one last time. Because it doesn't actually. I thought this mode it should just. Nope, down it goes. It should just be trying to fly level, not an actual target altitude. It doesn't know the altitude I want to fly at. So it's trimming those up, and then it goes nose down again. If I leave it, would it settle? I've had this working before. Let's set cruise power anyway, in case that helps. Don't know why it would. Nope. Bizarre. It's in localizer mode, that's fine.
Cruise power is set.
Altitude control on, aileron. Is it going to level off somewhere? Yeah, it has eventually leveled off. But how does it know? What's it targeting? Evening, Callum. I hope you're doing well.
Cruise checks are complete.
Lauren V says, supposedly the Boeing throttles can be combined into one unit like the Airbus, so you have 6 axes. Oh, there you go. That'd be quite something. J-Bay says they're probably going to add an add-on pack to get everyone to buy the extra. Well, it did level off eventually, but just 700 feet lower. So maybe it is trying to pick an altitude. Mia says, recommend Verpal gear for simming. Geared towards combat, but hardware is super solid from my experience. Got rudder pedals. There you go. That's pretty serious stuff as well. Woody says, good to see you, man. You taught me to fly through your Airbus, Microsoft Flight Sim videos. Keep up the great work. Sorry, good work. Thanks, Woody. Really appreciate it. It's very odd how the outhold works. Not sure what logic they had behind it. It always works for me if I press B. Yeah, I think you're going to be right. If we press B, we're going to find that we're at 16,000 feet. Now, I didn't know. How does it know I want to be at 16,000? I have no idea. That's really strange. I'm very surprised. But anyway, it's 56 miles. Time to swap over, really. So I'm going to swap over to inbound on the same. Ever so slightly off. 41 miles. 271 knots. Nice. It's a good speed. Andy, good to see you, Andy. If I didn't say hello already, I hope you're doing very well. Thanks for coming to moderate. So yeah, I'm obviously missing out on all the news while I'm not streaming. So we've got the Thrustmaster Boeing stuff was announced. Is there any others that everyone's excited about? Or any aeroplanes I should know about? Giuseppe, good to see you. Giuseppe from Twinfinite, the magazine, or online magazine website, I suppose, which covers all the news from Flight Sim World. So Giuseppe's the person to ask. Giuseppe says, nice to see another Sunday stream. Have you been flying for real at last? I have indeed been flying for real, which is brilliant. So happy to do that. Like I said earlier, that I haven't streamed as much as I'd have liked for a few reasons. A bit of work, which is great news, but also a lot of personal things going on, and also a few time-sensitive videos, which obviously take up an evening or a day more than the streams. Of course, Toliss A340 600. Lauren V says, let's not forget that. October 25th. Great. I was trying to remember the date, and for some reason I had 5th October in my head, which is obviously wrong. So October 25th. Looking forward to that A340 600. I will be definitely flying that on the channel. I hope we get some good liveries with that. I know a few I'd love to try out on it. Yeah, 340 600. Looking forward to that a lot. My only concern is I haven't found a way in X-Plane to assign throttles to 2 different thrust levers, so I have to assign all 4 to just one, which is always a bit disappointing. So yeah, no, absolutely. Toliss A340 will be hopping in, no doubt. I absolutely love their 321. I have not yet, and he tried the Toliss 747-200. I dare say I'm going to have to practice with Concorde before I get into the 747-200. Jersey Paul says, looking forward to the Q4 X-Plane. Indeed, I used to fly the Q400. I'm looking forward to getting your hands on it in the X-Plane. Any release date on that? And of course, yeah, MD-11 to Microsoft Flight Simulator. We got a bit of a wait for that one, I'm assuming. Twin Otter for Microsoft Flight Simulator should come out shortly as well. Yep, okay, we'll definitely be hopping into that. Mr. Banana, yeah, indeed, Junkers 52. That vote on there's a vote on YouTube running, and it was a definitive 17 minutes, 154 votes, 86% said yes. So we'll end that one. Thanks to all who voted. Looks like we'll be doing a Junkers stream at some point. Sorry about that, just drinking a cup of tea. Try not to choke. Right, so Q4 X-Plane, we have no release date, it sounds like. Apparently Q8 Pilot knows it, but it's under an embargo, so that's that one done then. There was a... I got an email from the X-Plane org store saying, oh, coming very soon. But I'm sure that was weeks ago now. Victor Tango got 4 throttle levers just for the A340. Bought the second set especially for the aircraft. Goodness me. It's a whole new world, isn't it? We've got so many airplanes coming out. Matthew Presley says, X multi-throttle plug-in that I use to fly 4 engine jets with two on one and 2 on the other. Excellent. Thank you, Matthew Presley. X multi-throttle. I'll be looking for that plug-in. The Inibuilt A310 coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I did see that. Now that's quite a what's the word? Precedent. That is quite a precedent. If we can get X-Plane aircraft converted and put into Microsoft Flight Simulator, who knows what we'll see. I was surprised to see that. I don't know if it will be a conversion or they're just going to use their assets, i.e. they know that all the dimensions and systems and just start from scratch. I don't know how it's going to work. Yeah, interesting. Giuseppe says, have you seen the Lockheed Electra at the Aeroplane Heaven release? No, I have not. No, I have not. And that does sound like my sort of thing. Sorry if you hear the tapping. My keyboard is ridiculously loud. I can only apologise. Oh, it's released. Electra 10A. Lovely, that looks very nice. Yeah. Oh, well, that could be interesting. We'll see if we can fit it in at some point. But of course, we've got the Toliss A340. We've got the Junkers. We've got plenty. Hopefully, the Q4 XP at some point. People do like that A310, don't they? Yeah. Digital Flight Dynamics is developing an A350. Yeah, should be good. So that should be good. Santa says, I expect you're flying live time. Unfair. I'm also live, but it's pitch black. No, indeed, we are live time here. Evening, Matteo. Good to see you. It's been a long time. I hope you're doing very well, Matteo. And I hope work is treating you well. J-Bay wants the PMDG 737 and 777. Yeah, that'll be nice. Espen wants the 747-200 from Microsoft Flight Simulator. Fly the Mad Dogs MD-80 sounds good as well. Yeah, that could be good fun. That's in some videos released in September. Okay. Victor would like a good model of the Comet for X-Plane 11. Unless it already exists and I missed it. No, I don't think there is one. Oh, we better turn. So we're now going on to 218. So let's put it into gyropilot. Oh, 218 is about there. Turn the heading. Oh, a bit early actually. Do a gentle turn. But, oh, having said that, 5.8 miles, but of course as we pass overhead will be 612, will be about 3 miles overhead, so we'll do a gentle turn to the right until it's pointing away onto 218. Matteo says, definitely been too long since my last live stream, very happy to be here. That's great to see you. We haven't done too many in the meantime, I must confess. Still pointing towards. Glorious. I can't thank Paddy enough for putting the effort in to make this livery come to life on the DC-6. I could put it on, well, I'd love to see it on pretty much any aeroplane, but I think it's worked particularly well here. That's 210. Let's just roll those wings out a bit here. And now we're going to Ren 10925. It's in the standby frequency. That's the cone of confusion. We're now flying away. Needle's going to swing round and point behind us. And let's put 10925 in the backup. Or, sorry, not backup, in standby, and also in box 2. You can see there, so they're both on the same, you know, they're two VORs, we're intercepting a line between them, but you see the difference in the angles because we're so much closer to this other one. Okay, yeah. Needs to go a little bit left actually. We're a bit early on that turn. Looks like a pretty good arrival time. I'm happy about that. I'm going to cross out the old numbers so I don't get confused now. What usually happens about now. Yeah, you can tell you're in France. It does look different. Or we're about to find out that we aren't using Bing Maps. Is that Bing Maps? Here it comes. And I've done exactly the same thing. It obviously doesn't like that. I imagine when this plane was made, that alarm didn't even exist. That was a later sort of addition to airplanes. And then it just does this where gyropilot on localizer. There's obviously something I'm doing wrong in that process. I should have it enabled, but it could have been because my simulator crashed just before the stream. It could be that I'm missing it because I'm not convinced that it isn't just. That looks very auto-genny to me. I could be wrong, which would be embarrassing, but Oh, Andy would like a back 111. Yes, that's a that was a popular airplane. That's exactly the sort of plane that would fly the routes that I fly all the time on this channel. So that'd be quite good to have sort of short haul European. Ollie T, this is very detailed. Yeah, it's very good. You can get it wrong quite easily. How's our engines doing? All in the green. Look at that. Look at that. Maintenance manager, engine health is not sure, but they've logged 3.5 hours, so we're doing well. So, shall we try and climb? I feel like I want to climb. Let's turn it off, altitude hold. I can't really adjust the power, but I could go to... Oh no, I can't. I have to do the takeoff run again. It's a bit of a cruise climb. Let's try and get up to 20,000 feet. See if we need the superchargers. Need to be wings level when changing autopilot, says Stephen. Okay, yeah, we'll try that next time. I'm obviously not being precise enough with it. Lauren V says, Back 111 flew all over the world too. It was nearly scandalous for American Airlines to have ordered a foreign aircraft back in the day. Their order would have been bigger too if not for politics. Well, that was especially the case a little while back, but it does occasionally happen. You can level the wings with the little silver button in front of the terminal to prevent gyro pilot disconnecting. Ah, excellent. Look at that. The things I don't know. Excellent. Thank you very much to ID. So we are gently climbing. Not really at climb power. What I could do, I could just turn off cruise. Let's see if we can set something without wrecking the engines. Just up the BMEP. There we go. So that's 160 BMEP. Does that sound alright? We'll keep an eye on these temperatures. That's going to be the clue. Problem is it's all connected. So if we change the BMEP, we should probably change the RPM and also the fan cowl position. I mean, they're at 0. They're almost closed. Oh, got a bit of wind there. Let's see what happens. We are climbing relatively stably. Let's put the nose up a bit more. My goodness, Phil Norbeck has super chatted $100. Phil, that's incredibly generous. I have no idea what to say to that. Oh my goodness. Phil says, way too long since I've caught your stream. Hope you're well. I've really missed this live content. Put to the Toliss A340 or any A310 or whatever you fancy. Thank you so much, Phil. I really, really appreciate it. That's incredibly generous. Thank you. You've been a big support of the channel, and it's been great to have you here. And yeah, that's it's always very difficult if someone does something like that. So I don't know what to say. It absolutely will. It goes back into purchasing more aeroplanes, obviously, and simulator gear. So thanks so much, Phil. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll be hooking ourselves up with one of those airliners, no doubt, I'm sure, if not both. So thank you so much for that $100 donation. That's incredibly kind, and I hope you're doing very well, and great to have you here today. Unbelievable. Right, yeah, let's not set fire to our engines in the meantime. You can see cylinder head 2 is cooking, 4 is cooking. So funny enough, 2 and 4. Water pressure is a bit low. It is climbing though, 17,000 feet. I don't think 20 is going to be an issue. Could up the up. No, I don't want to up the RPM actually. But yeah, Phil, thank you so much. Very, very kind. Dusty Looper says $100 cat food. VT Jake says, why is there no membership option on YouTube? So, yeah, it's a good question. It's something I've struggled with to figure out what to put into the memberships. We don't on this channel have anything behind a paywall, so you can join the Discord, you can watch all the videos. So it would have to be little things like little logos in the chat. We could do a maybe we could add in like a members only stream or something, but if I can only do 2 or 3 streams in some months, I'd feel bad if we were limiting them. So I haven't ever come up with a satisfactory answer, and that's why I've left that off for now. I know there's plenty of people who'd like to see it, and I should have got round to thinking of something by now. But if there's anything that we do on this channel, the one thing I always try and do is we take things quite slowly when it comes to that, to make sure I don't want to get it wrong and annoy people. So yeah, there should be. I need to look at. So far, all I can think of is a few emojis and logos for the chat, and maybe an area in the Discord just for people who are members. Maybe if there's a way to even do that, I don't know. Rakon says, not necessary, it's just about support. Love that idea. Okay, yeah, so that's it. I appreciate people are just trying to support the channel, and that's very kind. If that's the case, then I suppose it's just very kind. Thank you so much. Right, I'm going to tune in Ren 10925. There it goes, pointing towards. Only 45 miles to go to that. Ooh, it's not intercepting it. There we go. So we had the wings level on, that's why. Now it should head over there. 18,000 feet. Ooh, the turn might be too much for us. Okay, well, thanks for the idea, yeah. At some point I will have the guts to do it. Andy says, that's how V1 does it. Those of us who are members get custom emojis, a members room in Discord, and the monthly podcast. Oh, there you go. A podcast as well. Very good. I hear V1 every time I load up Microsoft Flight Simulator now in the A320 I hear his voice twice. Lauren Reese says, I think over winter there'll be more time to think about such things like membership. Indeed, there will. Yeah, this last couple of months have been surprisingly busy. Like I say, things will be getting a little bit more normal soon. Ooh, let's go on to engine stress visualizer. No, they're all okay. Engines are all okay. We've lost speed. We're doing 212 knots. If I up the RPM? No. Not helping. So we're running out of puff, I think, at 18,000 feet. It's time to do it. It's time to do it. Let's try it out. Drop manifold pressure to 32 before engaging supercharger, says Jersey Paul. Thank you, Jersey Paul. I'm going to follow your commands. That's 31. Let's go 30. Probably going to level off at this point. Anything else we need to do? What else should we do? I hope someone knows. We need to add... I shouldn't need to add water. So superchargers are going to pressurize the airflow into the engine. They're already set to low. Oh. Wow, 200 BMEP. Wow. Oh, that's not good though. No. Let's turn those back down. What happened there? Yeah, look how hot they got immediately. Immediately in the amber. I can't afford to lose 2 engines on this one. So how are we supposed to get the airplane? Do we need to up the RPM? Reduce the pressure there. So we can lower the BMEP. Let's try engine 1. Mixture's too lean. But it's already set to rich. So it's going to start heating up. You see, it needs more fuel to cool itself down. Do I need to just back off a bit? If we open up the cowl a little bit, will that help it cool down? Just trying on engine 1 for now. Can't the handy AFE get the engines ready right for supercharging? I don't think they can. No. No, they can do descent and cruise. So this is our job. Okay, so opening the cowls worked. We've got the temperature coming down. Question is, are we actually getting more power out of that engine now than we were before? And they're all actually a bit lean. And the oil pressure is looking better in number 1. Alright, let's turn all superchargers on. Oh, that was a bit too high on the manifold. Alright, let's keep a close eye. We've got all superchargers on. Let's get the pressure up. RPM back. Let's see if this works. 2400 RPM will be better. Mixture rich. Opening cowls will help too. So I've got mixture set to auto rich. So that should be fine, right? Is there anything else I need to do to that? $2400 RPM. Still not really climbing. But temperatures are all good. So let's put in a bit of throttle. See what happens. 23 miles to go to our VOR. Simon says, anyone got tips for the Logitech flight radio panel? Mine stopped working, although lights up on PC Start and with the panel tester software, but doesn't come on in Microsoft Flight Simulator or X-Plane. Oh, yeah. If it's just Microsoft Flight Simulator, obviously you need the avionics master assigned. But for X-Plane, I've never had any trouble. Might need to reinstall the software, is the only thing I could think of. Squared Specs, thank you for following. Okay, it's a bit of a climb out of it. Engines are all happy over here. I must remember to turn that off in the descent, unless the AFE does it. Indeed, Lauren, it is the last DC-6 off the line which PMDG based this one on. 2400 RPM, mixture rich, opening cowls. So we open the cowls. They come to a good temperature. It is climbing, slowly, but it is climbing. I think we can squeeze a bit more out of it. Not that much. Okay, let's let it settle there. Seems that these things, you can see how interconnected they are. Engine 1's the happiest. What's different about engine 1? It's running cooler. BT Jake says, I've not a single idea about this airplane systems. No, I'm purely guessing on my very limited piston engine knowledge. I've never commercially flown a piston engine. I have flown propellers, but not pistons. Then target 40 manifold pressure. It will drop slowly. Ah, I see. Yeah, so they're reducing now. So about 40. Excellent. Oh, well, it's great to have Jersey Paul. Thanks for your help. There's always someone in the chat to help me out. Thank you again, Phil Norbeck, for your very kind donation. Really, really appreciate it. Very generous indeed. J-Bay says, this thing is different from modern pistons too. Radial engines are very stubborn creations. Yeah. Yeah, it's not quite that simple. So we're getting... maybe we're just at a bit of a fast climb speed. I wonder... Let's check our engines are okay. Just engine 2 is whinging. Oh, in fact, engine 2 is really hot. That's a bit bad. I'm going to bring back engine 1 and 2 right away. Why is engine 2 so upset? Just that engine. Right, this was a big mistake. Going into supercharger territory has caused nothing but headaches. Yeah, they're all starting to cook a little bit. Let's open these up a bit more. It's just the air's so thin, I suppose. They must need it. Okay. Number 2's getting into normal range. See, yeah. If I had 4 thrust levers, this would be a little bit easier, but I'm stuck. I have to combine 1 and 2. So if I lose 2, I have to lose 1. And 1 is so cool by comparison. What is the difference? Let's check our VOR. 7 miles to go. So we're reaching Ren 10925. Next, we are turning into 174. So let's see if this works. So we press the silver button. And then we're taking, 174 now. No, that hasn't worked at all. That has not worked. Anyway, 5, 6, 7, 4 is about there. And it will do its best to turn into that. It's not going to manage, so I'm curious to see. But it might wake up on the other side. It is indeed finicky. Victor Tango, I agree. It's coming back under control. So number 2 is down. So let's get back to 40, about 40 MEP. So the fuel flow is the same on both. Same oil pressure, same fuel pressure. Yeah, it's funny. Number 2 is just not as happy. Must be an older engine. One of them's a bit cold now. It's still in the head temperature. Right. Which one's a bit cold? Engine number 3. Just start closing number 3 a little bit. Just do all of them except 2. Still not climbing. Right, that's kind of confusion. Each engine has its own personality, says Pavel. Yeah, indeed. Jersey Paul says, don't necessarily have the cowl flaps all the same. They do have their own life. Might be different oil mounts. Ah, there you go. Ah, it's fun. I like it. I like this. This is something different. Not that. Engine stress, no. Maintenance, there we go. Right, so what's going on? So, engine 1 is a bit ill. Hours are fine. We've got more oil in 2, 3 and 4, but they look okay. Don't know. Don't know. 174 we're tracking now. Away. 4. It's not really doing it. Let's go back to localizer mode. Yeah, that was a bit of a mess. It is climbing. Almost at 20. A little more complex than the A320 engine management. Indeed, we got FADEC, Full Authority Digital Engine Control, and it does everything, and it does a very good job of it. It occasionally, it can fail, and you have to manage you could overboost your engines, but that's a very rare fault on the Airbus. You have to have quite a serious failure before there's even a risk of overboosting. Even compared to the 737, the 320 has the most amazing engine management. Maybe number 2 is just jealous, says Rakon. Indeed, it could be. Maybe it's just because it's not in the sun. Indeed, agree, JB. It does keep you busy. Look at that, 20,000. We're still only doing 220 knots. It's not really been worth it so far. How's our cabin doing? Because I've set it all wrong. So 7,500 feet, gently climbing. Let's let it go to 8. So this leg is 174 for 55 miles. Quite a short leg. So while it's doing that, I'm just going to bring up the charts for destination. I love having Navigraph in the sim. No, not Gatwick. Bordeaux. Right, what's the weather like in Bordeaux? How do I find it without Vatsim? On the right side, you have 4 of them in a DC-3. That might be half your power gone. Yeah, on the right side you have 4. That might be half your power. Exactly. That's the old joke, isn't it? I'll only be happy when I'm flying an airplane where the engineer can say to me, Captain, you've lost engine number 6, and I can say, which side? It's yeah, classic aviation joke. It's currently 0505 in Bordeaux. That puts obviously runway 11 and 05 in use. But I'm sort of hoping to fly an ILS. Could do a VOR. Which could turn into a visual, or we could take the tailwind. Thanks, Phil. There we go. So 0505 Cavalcade, 18 degrees, 1024 QNH. Let's keep an eye on those engines. All in the green. I'm just going to keep it climbing. I just want to see where we can get to. Might be able to up the throttle a little bit. Right, so got a VOR 5.4 from the BMC, and then a descent 3.4 degree descent. I mean, that's fine. It would just be basically a visual approach in the end. So that is an option. Nothing wrong with that. But I sort of quite like the satisfaction of doing an ILS in the DC-6, because if I do a VOR, it will get I'll get overworked immediately, take out the autopilots, and sort of roughly fly it visually. And then I'll struggle to do everything else. So I'm tempted to take a tailwind onto this one. Quite a pretty approach as well. Yeah, we'll keep going, Jersey Paul. What's the ceiling on the DC-6? Look at that. We're getting 500 feet per minute now. It's really sort of settling into its own. CHG getting a little bit hot over on the right-hand side. That's because they're in the sun. Let's open those up a bit more. Preemptive. Yeah, number 2's cooking again. See how I have to keep adding throttle, because as we climb, the manifold pressure just gently reduces. Wonder if we'll get contrails out of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Flight 125, 25,000 feet. Great. Oh, we're doing pretty well. I'd have thought on a day like this we could make that, but I don't think it's shown up here. This is all... yeah. There's limits written all over the place. There's got some limits here. We've got you can get your best climb speed. Oh, sorry, min takeoff climb speed. Best takeoff angle of climb is V2, obviously. Yeah, makes sense. Prop your eyes. So luckily we haven't had to deal with any of that. The cell tanks. Do not leave this or that there or here. Yeah, they're all looking pretty cool. I think we'll give up at 22,000. I think we'll level there. Hello, Katerina. Thanks for joining us. Good. So, we're going to arrive at the Charlie November Alpha VOR. And this is RNAV, so we want a non-RNAV Charlie November Alpha arrival, which will be this one. Then we're going to go from Charlie November Alpha and then intercept the 234 degrees from Limoges out to Wagner. Then we'll fly the approach, and as I said, we're going to take the tailwind, because it is a, you know, it's a risk management. 5 knots tailwind, I'm assuming, is no problem. It's no problem for the Airbus. Airbuses can go up to 15. Oh yep, keep nudging the throttles, keep going. We're almost at 22 here. It's great. Superchargers are doing us very proud. So let's see, where does the ILS start from? It doesn't start from Wagner, it starts from IBD23. So we have to go for this one, conventional initial approach. There we go, from Wagner. Then we got the final. There's the level off. That's too much. Overdone that. Let's try. Good stuff. Swap over to Nantes, 1155. 20 miles to go. Seem to need to swap over, but there we go. Right, so now we're going to join that. And then we can bring the power back. So I'm just going to bring BMEP back a little bit. Any RPM we need for this? Sadly, Paul Smith, no face reveal at 50,000. Face reveal is at 1 million. Alright, power back. It's working out. Just got to make sure they don't get a bit too cool. But yeah, 22,000 feet. No worries. Right, 17 miles to go. So let's not get too distracted. But yeah, so we're going to go to the CNA, get ourselves to the Wagner point. Oh, and last, of course, let's bring up the airports chart and the parking stands. Good. So, CNA, Wagner, from Wagner, brilliant, we'll just make a right turn, 225. Will be minimum hold at 5,000 feet, so we could be down at 5. MSA is 2,100, so there's no significant terrain on this arrival particularly, which is great. And we've been pointing straight in at the localizer, 110.3. So let me write that down. 225 degrees, 110.3. That's the ILS, so we're going to need that one ready. Got a locator, the 393, so we could tune that on the NDB. Where is the NDB tuner? It's up here, isn't it, the ADF? Yeah. So we can put the 393 onto that. I have no idea how to do that using my radio panel. Oh, and it's all gone blank. That's not good. All right, I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to try and tune on this. 3. Eight. 9. 3. 393. Good. That's the Bravo Delta. 10 miles to go. Yeah, and then we're going to head inbound. If we're at 5,000 feet, that means about 15 miles will intercept the ILS. We'll go to our final chart. Here we go. So when we're 12.8 miles out, we can go down to 2,000 feet. But we should be, oh, it's mandatory 3, so we'll go down to 3. Yeah, there you go. Minimum 3,000 feet at IBD 23. And that will intercept at about 9 miles if it's a 3 degree ILS, which it is. The airport is... It's only 150 feet elevation, so that's great. There's that 2-1 MSA. Butter, thanks for your subscription. And Squared Spectre, I didn't say thanks for your follow. I have to activate Navigraph every time, AP. Just like that, yep. But I have the login saved on my internet browser, so when I click on it, it does happen pretty quickly. Right, anyway, let's focus up for 174. We're going now to 149. This is the longer leg, 105 miles. So, let's do that. Press that. So wings level. Let's put it into gyropilot, which has worked. Good stuff. Let's set the course to 149. looks good. Then let's turn the airplane a little bit. Just a little bit. How the engines are all getting a bit cold. Just a little bit. Just close them in one stage. All those cowl flaps. Now I'm turning through to 149. Love it, love it, love it. So I press wings level now. Is it just going to roll wings level? And there it is. Spot. Oh, this could be our best one yet. Look at that. Localizer mode. Oh, it's going to make a big scene even though it doesn't need to. Look at that. How embarrassing. We did that. That was fine. That was my favourite one yet. Mixture auto lean. I see. Oh, it's not letting me. I'm not going to fiddle at this point. We got this far through it. So yeah, we're at 160 knots. That's just because it's confused by the going to confusion. It will pick up as we head away. Thanks, Matthew Van Dam, for your follow. Good afternoon to Louis Wilson. Fiddled a bit too much. Stream cut out a couple of times. Oh dear, checkpoint. Sorry. Right, 22,000 feet. We're going to be on this for, let me cross out that one, 105 miles now. The next frequency, we're going to CNA 11465, which I'm going to put active as needle 2, 465, and then in standby in box 2, I'm going to put Limoges, which is what we're going to need to use to intercept the ILS. So Limoges 1145. You've always got four frequencies to consider when you're setting up your nav aids in this. Wagner is, there you go, it's also on the Bordeaux radial, 23 miles out. So it's 23 miles out from the airport. Great stuff. So that's the plan, really. It's pretty not very exciting. We'll go CNA. Then these are short legs, so everything happens quickly. Well, it's not too bad, actually. That's 40 miles long from CNA to this point at the BMC. So we'll head out for 40 miles, right, then there's only 6 miles before we get to Wagner, which is based on the Limoges VOR. Actually, no, sorry, no, I take that back. We don't actually need Limoges because we're going to go out to 40 miles on that radial, which will take us to this point, and then we make a right turn. That's easier, actually, to the Bordeaux VOR. We can just use Wagner. It's 23 miles, radial 045. Wagner, let me just write that down. 24D at 045 degrees. Great, so I'll just tune that one in, and basically I'm going to just head straight in off that and keep pressing localizer until it turns onto that. Right, what we're going to do now, I'm just going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back very shortly for the final setup and the descent. Let me just take one last check of the engines. Number 3 is a little bit cool, so we can just close that one up. Hello, first officer's joining us just in time. Please don't walk on the keyboard, and we'll see you all very shortly. welcome back. I hope you all enjoyed that little interlude. Nice to hear that music as ever. How is it going? The airplane is still in one piece, which is great news. Let's hop inside. Oh, that's the wrong one. And also I've left audio on. Get rid of that. Good stuff. Right, now how do I get inside? I press this button. There we go. So, still sitting at 22,000 feet. We've sped up a little bit. 35 miles. Great. That's good. So we've still got time. Excellent. Blueberry King, good to see you. Navigation is going well. Thanks for joining us. VT Jokes is getting serious Animal Crossing vibes from this song. That song, oh, I've forgotten the name of it now. Oh, it's actually just in the YouTube freeware music. That one is not by Fly24. Most of my music is, but that one is not. Let me have a quick look to see if I can find it for you guys. But yeah, I grab it. There's one person who does these. It's by Chris Haugen. I've got a few of his songs, and I've forgotten which one that is. But yeah, that's the artist. Chris Haugen. Gabriel says, this is now the most relaxing video on YouTube. Excellent. As long as stuff is warm, cat is happy. Yeah, the cat has returned after the noise. Chickpoint says, great, time to grab a cup of tea. Excellent, Chickpoint, enjoy that. Oh, I hope you enjoyed it. I've already had my tea. Okay, right. Anyway, so we're 41 miles. Let's start thinking about descent planning before we mess that up, because it's actually quite hard to descend in this beast. We've got 40 miles to go from here, by which point I want to be down at sort of 20 miles, let's say 5,000 feet to be conservative, as that's the lowest altitude. So, work backwards. 5,000 feet there. Let's say 3 degrees would mean we're at 22,000 feet, so 15, 30, we need 45 miles. Let's make that 50 miles. We need 50 miles to get from 22,000 feet down at 3 degrees, about 50 miles. So that would be 10 miles before the CNA. We would start our descent from 22,000 feet. Now that's what I'd do in the Airbus if I was at 22,000 feet. But yeah, that'd be about right. But I'm not going to do that because we did that before and it was a big mistake and I ended up being incredibly high and fast and it was very distracting. So I might just start down now. Let's just do a sort of cruise descent. We're heading to the CNA. 11465 already. We're on the correct inbound. We're going to go from there on the 173. J-Bay's got some nice coffee brewing and some peanut butter cookies. Oh, that sounds lovely. Yeah, very good. Phil is refilling beer. Excellent. Blueberry King says, that's great to hear. Losing an ND would be the end of me. No, my VWire tracking tutorial, once you've watched that, hopefully that you could do this. That's all I'm doing. It's quite straightforward with VORs. They're the easiest way to navigate, really. VFR navigation is a bit more challenging. I think we'll leave the lights as they are now, but I might change it to something a bit more moody. So, let's go to descent.
26 inches, please. Sitting 26 inches.
Now, do I need to turn off the superchargers or put them to low, or do I wait until we're a bit lower for that? Let's turn off the altitude hold, and hopefully, as the power comes back, it's going to start a descent. Now it could overheat, cool down too much now, so I'm going to close up those flaps. Oh no, they've already done it. Leave that alone. Simon Wood says, loving my new 3-screen setup, just the thing to enjoy this gorgeous evening flight. Excellent, Simon. 3 screens, fantastic. Right, there's the descent checks. So 3-degree descent, we're doing 256 knots over the ground, so that means we would need a descent rate of, drum roll please, about 2,000, sorry, excuse me, let me think, 1,200, 1,300 feet per minute, something like that. Thanks for the follow to Big Rock. I think we've passed 1,000 followers on Twitch, so thank you to everyone who has followed on Twitch, really appreciate it. Blueberry King says, I really should invest some time into practicing this stuff. Far too used to the Airbus navigating. No, well, I don't practice it except when I'm doing this sort of thing. So that's descent power. That's it. That's just far too much. So let's, I guess, accelerate a little bit. Nose down a bit more. And down we go. I have not visited the Bagnac Museum in Toulouse. Visited 3 years ago, says Robert Smith. Amazing. No, I haven't. Does sound good. JB says, I'm waiting to be able to use my Prime sub on Twitch. Yeah, so I would have done that already, but it won't let me because we don't stream. We haven't streamed often enough, I think, is the issue. So we have enough followers, but yeah, we need to stream. So I think if we get a couple more streams in, that will happen. Because I think we've done enough streams, but not close enough together or something like that. Thanks, JB, though. Appreciate it. Right, so that's... Oh, still only 500 feet per minute. Let's do 1,000 feet per minute, something like that. Hopefully then. The magic in a propeller airplane like this is we can actually put the nose quite far down and it won't accelerate because the props start to act like big speed brakes. I don't know why the position lights don't show up either. I don't know what's going on with the lighting. I don't know if it's been broken in a sim update or what's going on. I can't get them to show whatever I do. You can hardly see the beacon. Is there a master light switch I'm not seeing? That was what I found out on the F-14 was the problem. Ethan's Aviation. I have seen the Feeder 747. I don't have it yet. Indeed. JD Smith says, I love these vintage aircraft. I feel like 707 would be awesome. Yeah, that would be good. There's the sun. Look at that. Oh, brilliant. Just brilliant. Isaac, good to see you back. Hope dinner was good. Yeah, the lights just aren't playing ball. I must be missing something. Does wing illumination work? Not really. Nothing. Nope. I'm sure these all used to work. Because it looked lovely at night. I might rewind time once the sun set. As we haven't got any lights. I heard that F12. Make sure to post it in Microsoft Flight Simulator screenshots. Maybe you'll win the banner. Yeah. Maybe. It does have the Naviggraph tab in the way. Ricardo says, how is work, Captain? Thanks for an awesome stream. Glad you're enjoying it. Work is fine, yeah. This is, you know, recently aviation in the UK has had some breaks that it has not had for, you know, since March 2020. So the places people are allowed to travel are more varied. The reasons people are allowed to travel are more free now. And the testing is a bit cheaper than it was a little while back because they did start to open, but it was very expensive. So it's good stuff. Yeah, I'm very pleased to see that, and it's the first little bit of good news really for aviation for a year and a half, which has been a mega nice feeling to have, no doubt about it. I think it's a bug. External view and Shift I sometimes works. Or is that Shift L? Aha! There it is. Just L. Right, that's good. We'll leave those. Yeah, thanks, Ricardo. Yeah, no, it's been a big relief. And I hope the same for all of you. I've been able to get your lives somewhat back to normal, or a bit less stressful than they may have been over the past year. Right, great tip on the lights. Thanks for that. That makes me very happy. So we're now 25, 30 miles away. Yeah, we're 30 miles away. We're still at 18,000 feet. I think we can do better. Come on, get down. Let's do it. Let's see if we can keep that speed back. Victor Tango says, I can confirm it was really expensive. I flew to Italy in August and I had to take 4 tests in total, 85 each. £85 each. Yeah, that's just not fair, is it? Right, sir, I have indeed flown to La Palma. Yeah, internal lights the EFB does very well, yes. I think you can adjust them with all these switches, but they're very granular and there are a lot of them. So I've been using the internal ones on here, yeah. Agreed, they're good. Victor Sango says, my wife and I spent more in tests than the cost of the 2 return flights. Yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it? That was no good. So thankfully that's reducing now, and they're cheaper, less frequent tests, which is good. Matthew Presley says the junior assignments when you're forced to fly on a day off have started over here. Goodness me, I haven't seen that, being forced to fly on a day off at anywhere I've worked. Yeah. Goodness me. With or without volcano ash. No, I haven't flown close to the volcano ash. Yeah, that'll be the next thing. Yeah, that's good, Matthew Presley. That sounds like things are busy over there then. And I'm sure we will get that here eventually. But yeah, I've not worked somewhere where you can be forced to fly a day off. You can be asked. So there you go, speed's picked up, 285 knots, but no problem. Temperatures are all looking reasonable. Because what you don't want to do is just idle these engines and start your descent like you would in a jet, because they would get so cold you could damage them very easily. So 15,000 feet, superchargers off to low. There you go, so the engineer is automatically adjusting things. Let's just check the engine stress visualizer. No, that seems fine. Lovely. Coming through 15,000 feet. Oh, still a bit high. Still a little bit high. Can't junior assign if you don't answer your phone. Moral of the story, don't answer the phone, says Matthew Presley. But that is an airline pilot trick, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, answering the phone is always a risky strategy. I can't believe they can just phone you at home and say you've got to come to work. Yeah, that's mad. Right. Getting close. Hold on. Let's go on nav 2. Dope. 16 miles, yeah. Let's go. Wings level. Gyro, localizer. Okay. So after 11465, we need 11375. I'm going to head outbound on 173. All looking good on the altitude now, so let's bring the nose up and start bringing that speed back a bit. Lauren V says, have a drink every 8 hours on your day off. So you that would be one strategy. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Very cozy. And now we're getting into winter. We get to do a bit more night flying, and yeah, I do like flying around at night. Something about it. It's just lovely. I think that's where we're going. No, that can't be. There are quite a lot of airports around this part of the world, all sitting at the coast. Maybe we're going over there. Let's cheat. Oh, it might not show up actually. Yeah, LFXB. Oh, must be passing overhead. So we want to go outbound. Let's not get distracted on the 173. So, wings level. Gyro pilot. 5, 6, 7, 3. Turn a bit to the right. Nice gentle turn. Still doing 200 knots, that's absolutely fine. Passing through 12,000 feet, we've got 40 miles to get down to 5,000. We are most certainly low, which is good. Like I say, I did a 3-degree descent and regretted it last time. So let's just slow everything down. Make our life as easy as possible. Just go wings level from here. And wait till it's pointing away. Oh, that's a shame. Artificial horizon seems to be falling over. Oh, there it goes. Good, good. That's a relief. Captain Wazza says, it's stunning at dusk. I've also been enjoying the night drawings in earlier. X-Plane is particularly good at night lighting. Agreed. X-Plane's night lighting has always been exemplary. It's really shone. Where's our airport? Must be down here. LFBC, LFBD, that's the one. So yeah, it's still in front of us, somewhere over there. Gently descend. Right, so behind us now, needles are coming in. And 173. 40 miles. The engine's all good. Yeah, coming together. It's coming together. It's 180 at the moment. Very nice. I do like this. Can probably get rid of this for now. Put that one there. The 158, thanks for your follow. At some point I'll have to set the QNH. Got to do that lower down though, don't we? There we go. Because it, yeah, does. Microsoft Flight Simulator does use the American transition of 18,000s. That's good enough for me. Localizer, please. Miguel Rodriguez says, do you have an actual yoke or do you guys play it on your keyboard? I have a joystick. Yeah. But I'd love, like I say, the I'm curious to see. We've got a couple of yokes coming out, so I'm curious to see what they're like. I haven't used the yoke in a simulator ever, actually. Always a joystick. Right, we're already 10 miles out, so maybe we'll keep it coming down a little bit quicker. This is until 40 miles. So we're currently on this leg here. I don't think it can show us the plane. Yeah, it just doesn't work. It never has in Microsoft anyway. So next is going to be the 11375, which I've got on standby. And we'll turn and set that to Wagner. From Wagner, straight in, down the ILS, 225 inbound. 3-degree slope for our landing. At which point I have to kick the first officer off my lap, I'm afraid. That's our cat for anyone wondering what I'm talking about. Then we're going to land on 2-3, roll out, come off wherever we fancy. We'll use reverse thrust, obviously, and head in and park down, not on the military apron. Heading back up onto the main stance. Let me load up the flight recorder software. Because the amount of streams where I've had to load that software up on final, trying to fly an ILS or something, is about 50%, so that's ready to go. Good stuff. It always works. You need to have the Simlink running in the background. What's Simlink? Sugoku. Thanks, Phil. So it's currently variable 3 knots, cover K, 17 degrees. There you go. Perfect excuse to use the old ILS. Right, how are we doing on height? Through 10,000 feet. Are we depressurizing properly? The cabin's not doing anything. No, we're not. We're not depressurizing. Why is that? We're still at 8,000 feet. So is it just going to sit there until we intercept it? That's not ideal. Yeah, the differential's just reducing. So do we have to actually... Do we tell it we want to descend the cabin early? Let's put the cabin down to 4,000 feet. Now, I want to be a bit lower than this. We've got 20 miles to go to a turn. We want it to be about 5,000 feet. So we've got 5,000 feet to lose in 20 miles. So we need to do 3 degrees effectively from here. So about 1,000 feet per minute. So that should see us good from here. We have got speed to lose as well. And let's not forget our in-range checks to come soon. I don't know if that involves a power setting change. Mr. Banana says, Navigraph has an extra tool called Navigraph Simlink, which allows the tracking of your aircraft. Oh, I see. Thank you very much. Right. Yeah, I need to look into that. I do use rudder pedals indeed. Rudder pedals have been a surprisingly useful addition. I do enjoy them. Right. 9,000 feet, all looking good. Remember, there's not much elevation or terrain around here, so that's all fine. Still, we're pretty sporty. 210, 20 knots. Or 215, I should say. It was indeed in between those two numbers. Airport's over there. So, shall we rewind time a little bit? I think we shall. Just a little bit. Cover your eyes, everybody. That gives me the landing into the sun excuse, so we'll take that. Just so we can see something as we cruise around. Night flying doesn't look so good on the streams usually. Although that could set pretty quickly. And I'll just be rewinding again. Let's put it there. That'll do. Right, it's 10 miles to go. Let's do the in range, start slowing down.
Cooling turbine. Normal. Fuel booster pumps. On low. Fuel tank selectors. Mains on, crossfeed off. Hydraulic bypass valve. Down. No smoking signs. On. In-range checks complete.
Good. In-range checks complete. That's what we like to hear. It's just not losing speed. Still sitting at 220 now. Passing through 7,000 feet. Got 8 miles to go, but that's only put us about 20 miles away. Got about 30 miles to run, I'd say, and we're at 7,000 feet. Again, fine in the Airbus, but not so good in this. We just end up doing up a bit behind fast easily. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the one thing you must not do. I'm going to bring the power back a bit more. No, that's not making any difference at all. Did I just get the gear warning horn? Yeah. Just leave those there. 5 miles to go. 220 knots. We're going to come storming in on this approach. So it's going to be a right turn. So let's do wings level, Gyropilot, and let's put that inbound course of, what is it called? 045. So just make sure I'm getting that right. Yeah, 225. I thought so. Round we go, round we go. Which is luckily it's the same inbound course as the ILS, so we can just start off with the VOR. So that's ready to go. And we're going to swap over frequency. So we're still tuning onto the 11465, but we'll swap over to the BMC momentarily. Coming down to 5,000 feet now, so it's time to level off. So that's good. The speed will come back now nicely. I would really like, yeah, this little trim wheel is hard to find. Right, time to turn right. Round to 225. Let's swap over the frequencies. We're going to go through it slightly now. Level off. All happening at once. That's the magic of leaving it a bit late. Speed should wash off though. Let's do out hold there. 11375. Yeah, we've gone through. That's fine. 24.2. Good stuff. James Cooper, thanks so much for your £20 super chat. Really appreciate it. I'm just at a busy moment, but I will read that momentarily. We've already done the in range, so let's roll through. Let's get the needle coming round. Speed's back at 200. That's good. Let's go there. Pointing west. Wings to level. James says, just got back from work. Gutted I've missed it. I'll rewatch later this evening. Hope you're well. Have a beer for yourself and some dreamers for the FO. Thanks so much, James. Really appreciate it. It's incredibly generous. Great to have you here for the ending, and I hope work went well. And yeah, thanks so much for your very generous donation. Really, really appreciate it. And indeed, I would indeed treat myself to that. Thanks so much. And the FO, who is here with us now. I'm going to have to throw her out in a moment. Right. That needle isn't moving as quickly as I'd hoped. So we are now about here somewhere. A bit too far out. Wagner is at 23 miles, so we've already gone through it. So what we're going to do is we'll set the ILS now. We've got the right course bar. 1103. In there. Sitting off to the right. There's a glide slope. So let's come right a bit, and I can actually set it to fly that approach. We can also go down to 3,000 feet, so let's turn off altitude hold, down to 3. It's 230, so let's go wings level here. 30 degree intercept should be good enough. Down to 3,000 feet gently. Next checks will be, what are they going to be? Before landing, we've got to start configuring. $5,000 feet, 17 miles. Oh, we're getting pretty close. Let's bring the power back. Let's see if we can do the approach if I do that. Doesn't seem too interested. If I put box 2 to the VOR, which is 11375. That will give us a bit of a backup as to where the airfield is. Okay, this is the mission now, isn't it? Orientating yourself near the airport. So it's over there on 240. We want 225, so we should keep going this way, and those needles should move to the left. Let's make sure they're doing that. Yeah, VOR2 is slowly moving left. We're 13 miles out, 4,000 feet. So we're getting close to the glide slope, which we have got there, but the localizer doesn't seem to want to identify. So if it doesn't, we'll just use the VOR, which is not, strictly speaking, what you'd do, but we will be visual very shortly. I want to start getting some flap out. What's the flap speed? So 174 knots, 60, 70. Oh, we're about 5 knots too fast. 4,000 feet, 12 miles out. That's about right. Let's get the nose up a little bit. Start getting some flap out. That will solve that problem. So before landing. Just about good enough for that. So we're on the glide slope. It's just not seeing the localizer. Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
20 flaps set. Mistress ridge, please. Auto ridge. Mixture set. Gear up and down, please. Gear up and down.
Nope, no, that's working. That's alright. Let's carry on with the glide slope. I'm just going to fly this manually because that obviously is not working out. So we should have that localizer somewhere here. It's just not happening. We're at 10 miles, so I want to be about 3,500 feet, which is roughly where we are. We're at 3.3. Now they're going to get some big power changes.
2400 RPM set. Cow flaps. Plus 3 degrees. Cow flaps set. ADI.
There's a localizer.
ADI is on. Landing lights.
See how hard it is into sun.
Standing lights.
That's my excuse. Right, we don't want to be doing more than...
Call meet call. Set call.
There's the runway out the window.
Before landing checks complete.
Don't want to be doing more than sort of... well, what's our ground speed? 140 knots. So, you know, 700 feet per minute. The classic. It's our favourite. Sorry, First Officer. I need you to just let me reach the rudder pedals, if that's okay. Thank you very much. She'll forgive me later, I'm sure. Oh, and whilst doing that, that sync rate just picks up. Let's get ourselves back over there. Thank you again, James, for that donation. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Nighthawk, for the subscription. Right, we're losing. Obviously, we need to keep control of the throttles then. It's obviously not... engineers not managing those. It's so hard. If you think of the joystick you're using to fly this in simulator... Come on, down you go. It's so sensitive compared to the massive wheel it's designed for. So I find it really hard to not just over control it. You see how I'm doing tiny movements of my joystick, but it just twitches around too fast now. You've also, with these constant speed propellers, you just don't get a sense of the oh, just start the recording. You don't get a sense of the power changes very well. You can't really hear them because the engines don't change how much they're moving. So it's supposed to be at 100 BMEP according to the tutorial. I'm just going to put all the flap out now. We're at 2 whites, 2 reds. I'm just going to set 100 BMEP. There it is. Right, I think we're pretty much stable. We're a little bit fast, but we'll keep the power, we'll keep the glide slope, and we'll let the natural aerodynamics do their thing. 700 feet per minute, please. Trick for landing this is don't do too much. We won't do any major power changes in the flare. Okay, there we go. Just about in trim. Every little press of the trim wheel changes everything a lot. Speed still wants to wash off. Might need a little more power out of this. Getting a little bit high. Yeah, you'd be feeling pretty sick if you were watching or feeling that constant twitching up and down. It's just the pitch. The roll is a bit better. You can see the roll is quite natural, but pitch is every little tiny change of the trim. And we're going to use reverse thrust on landing. Reverse thrust. So we've got the flaps out, got the gear out. Let's just check we have the gear out. There it is. Looking good. Lovely. Looks like the wind's slightly from the right. And we have manual thrusts. Just checking. And I do have a button assigned, so hopefully we can just toggle into reverse. So 120 knots. Not going to land at 120, we'll just float down the runway. So I'm hoping that'll wash off in the later stages of the approach. Don't want to go any lower than this. There we go. No rad out call outs, so we'll see. We're just looking out the window, trickling the power off. Now, hold it here. There's touchdown. And reverse thrusts. And I'm not touching the brakes. Let's use that. Well, it's taking a while to turn around. And here we are. That was a bit of a float, but we made it in the runway. I'm still very much learning how... Well, not learning. I'm struggling with landing this aeroplane. It's always a mission. I think we're a little bit fast. I think I could have taken a bit more power off. There we go. Get rid of the reverse now. We'll end up stopping on the runway. Yeah, here we go. So, what was it? 87 was it in the end? We'll take that. We'll take that. Does the DC-6 add rudder automatically when you turn the wheel, or do you need to coordinate the turn with the rudder pedal to switch tango? Nope, yeah, you'll need to. It's all manual with the rudder, so... are they counter-rotating props? That's a good question that I need to work out. Thanks, Captain Wazza. Thanks, Rakon. Thanks, Chris. I'm glad it was alright. Let's go back and park up. Just warm up those brakes, squealing away. So we said left off the runway. Yeah, the ILS didn't help much. I did exactly what I said I didn't want to do, which was end up just flying sort of visually. But we did have the ILS displayed, so that's the good thing. So we'll get to enjoy that. I have the replay ready, so we will have a replay of that soon. We'll just go and park up and... Actually, we won't shut anything down. We would normally, of course, do all the after landing stuff, but we won't do that today because I don't want to have it all messed up for the replay. One day we'll have replays. Is there any news on that? Does anyone know? Is Microsoft Flight Simulator going to give us native replays? Oh dear. We've got a face-off ahead of us. GD, I use Fly Live Studio for the overlay. And now there is nothing to see here. Oh, there might be actually. Yeah, that's the wrong side. 2022, 2024, free players planned. Yeah, okay. So I guess not. Lerpak Lally. Thanks, J-Mac. They're considering releasing what they have ready as a try it if you're brave enough feature, but they're not sure. Oh, I hope they do. We'd love nothing more on this channel than to... we'll go for the next one. Yeah, we'd have nothing more than trying risky experimental sort of builds and then putting them straight up on stream. It's always a classic 320 Sim Pilot channel thing. Beep beep indeed. 2022. It does feel like a long time. I tell you what though, you know, to have this being so heavily developed still, and I know these features ideally would have been there at launch. Carbon airplane, you can slow down. It's got a bit of momentum to it. As nice as it would have been to have them at launch, it's great to see it so actively being developed at this stage. Over a year later and into next year, that's what we want. They said 10-year plan, and it's not like they've abandoned it, so that's good news. They said in the last live stream that they have a working tool, and apparently it works nicely, but they don't finish ready. Yeah, okay. Right, so, God, it really is running away now. We are a lot lighter, of course, and it's making a big difference. You can see we didn't need half that fuel we brought with us. Quite efficient when you take it to 20,000 feet. Just not enough air for it to burn through its fuel. That's great. I really enjoyed that. Thank you all for joining us on this this flight today. I know last time I said there'd be more regular streams, but it didn't quite work out like that. Just due to various things that I wasn't really expecting. But yeah, a few time-sensitive videos. There have been a couple of videos on the channel recently. So we've had the X-Plane 12 announcement, of course, which I can't believe we haven't talked about today. We'll talk about that next time we're in X-Plane, I'm sure. But yeah, so I've had a video out on that, which is a bit time-sensitive, as you can imagine. And that took up a sort of stream day. And then also we have recently had the video on the Winwing A320XX grip. I don't know if you've seen that one, but yeah, so a couple of videos, because that was released or has been put up on the website, so a bit time sensitive. The wheel thing in the middle below the compass is the rudder trim, believe it or not. That is the rudder trim. So what we're going to do now is jump into the replay. So let's have a look at the landing from the outside. We'll start off with that, and then we'll give you the traditional passenger view. Right, how did it look? I'm going to guess a little bit A little bit flat. What's the velocity 1, James? What's the velocity 1? I've got a few exciting hardware things, but I haven't heard of the velocity 1. Who's making that? Right, here we go. So trying, I was trickling the power back here, trickling it back. Oh, we got away with it. That's main wheels first. I'll take that. A bit off centre line. A bit off centre line, but we did do main wheels first. The all-in-one Turtle Beach. Ah, I have seen that. It does look exciting. I hope I can find a way to get a go on that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I will be looking out for the velocity 1, definitely. Again, the amount of stuff we've got for Flight Simulator these days, really, really nice to see. Let's do one more of those. Turtle Beach throttle trim control. So the trim control would be great because I could have used that today on this beast. Such a good looking aeroplane. So you see there how it started to yaw, and I put in a bit of rudder just to bring the flare, possibly to do with power changes. You hear me struggling to get them into reverse. Right, let's put it back out of the approach. Is that too far? A little bit closer. And that should be fine. Right, let's go to the wing view. So I'm going to say, of course, landing into sun was the excuse, exactly. Trouble is so much hardware is in short supply. Indeed, GD. No, I know that's been a problem. Right. So, what can I say? Thank you all so much for coming along. I've absolutely loved it. It's been great chatting with you all. There are more videos to come. I've got a couple in the works, including an ILS charts video, and the Vatsim is still ticking along, taking more planning, than I expected. But yeah, I'm aware they need to be done. But ILS charts tutorial to come first. That's close to being done, and a few other exciting things coming up very soon. So do stay tuned to the channel, including a giveaway, which I'm very excited about for the first time on the channel, actually. I'm hoping to get a hold of the hardware you talked about today at some point, but also, of course, we've got some new airplanes which are very exciting, so we'll be looking at those on the channel, and we'll, of course, be jumping back into the Airbus in the very near future for a stream and some videos. So thank you all so much for coming along. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you to those of you who've so kindly donated. Very generous donations today. Really, really appreciate it. I don't know when the next stream itself will be, but hopefully not too long. And yeah, thank you for coming along, for chatting, for just watching if that's what you've chosen to do. And we'll see you again in another video or live stream soon. Keep safe and well. Have a good night. Bye-bye.